Hey guys,
Good morning. Welcome back.
Joe here.
Kevin.
We're very excited for the next episode of The West Wing.
Yeah, a lot of people on Patreon have mentioned we were talking about this that the each episode is just super strong from here right up through the finale.
Yeah.
Like obviously it's a great show that all the episodes are good, but they're impressive all the way through.
There's been no spoilers, but
Right, which is good.
from my understanding and what somebody has made clear to us is that the next three episodes, like including this one, are part of a storyline. And
Okay, I
the
didn't see
three
that.
after that lead into the finale.
Oh, perfect.
So we'll see if that's the case. Not the last two episodes have been bad or anything, but they have felt slower, not
Well,
like in a bad way.
they're kind of they were downers for sure.
Downers for sure.
Toby messes up and CJ has to try to save the day as best she can.
And even Sam, it's like, wow, all right, you guys don't trust your staff.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
The thing where Toby wanted the drop in line
Yeah.
to upset the environmental lobby and didn't tell Sam, and didn't tell Sam that he did it after the fact when Sam was mad about it.
Yeah.
And let the president kind of take the blame from Sam a little bit. I don't know why he did that after the fact. That was I thought that was kind of cowardly on Toby's part, not to even after the fact be like. He calls us like the president screwed up my speech, and he's
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, come on back." No, you should have been like, "No, he didn't."
Yeah.
Here's what I did and here's why.
Yeah.
Because it just set up a huge fight. And I'm kind of with Sam on that.
I'm with Sam on
It's
that
like-
one too.
I mean, you may disagree with him and you may not want to hear what he has to say, but you got to trust him enough to tell him what you're going to do to the speech he's writing.
He does that often enough. I
Right.
wonder if it's going to come out in this episode or if they are going to address it down the line because he does it. That's a thing, man. Like you gotta put some faith in these people. They're all brilliant.
Right, yeah.
They're all hired. They're all there for a reason.
Well, and
you know?
Toby should know at this point, especially at the episode before, that he is not infallible.
No,
You know what I
he's
mean?
not.
Like
He's-
I know exactly what to do. I've got the call. I'm like, yeah, you're his boss technically, but it's not like you haven't made mistakes in the very recent past.
the perfect Toby.
He ignored CJ when CJ told him exactly what was going to happen if he did what he did, and it did, and it was up to her to try to save it as best she could, and it didn't work.
I like that he owned it, but at the same
A
time,
little bit, right.
A little bit, exactly. You know?
But it didn't, the hubris didn't go away at all. You know what I mean? He didn't learn anything from it. It looks like.
He's the stubborn one, though.
Right.
Toby's the one that you can't tell anything to because he's stuck in his ways. You know.
Well, Toby's always been the smartest guy in the room, probably leading up until this job.
Yeah.
And in this job, I'm sorry, Tobes, but you're surrounded by a lot of smartest people in the room that that you need to listen to. And he is. You're right. He is. Stubborn's a great way to describe him. He is the one character on the show that when he takes a position, he is not going to back off of it at all. When he's right, he's right. And most of the time it works out. Most of the time he is right. But when he's not, it really causes problems.
Well, we're deep into the term now. What are they?
Right.
2-3 years into it.
Well, they've been this season. They've been talking about re-election a lot.
Yeah, it always
So-
comes up around the end of the 2-year mark. So
Right.
maybe-
Yeah. About how we're already having to start campaigning for re-election right now.
So we're a little over halfway through
The first term, right?
that and the season
In the season.
itself.
Gotcha,
So
right.
I wonder if this next season is going to be about re-election.
Has to be, right?
I want to see that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Has
this
to be a
show-
big part of the show, right?
It checks off a lot of boxes on what you can see in a White House procedural, I guess.
Right,
you know? I'm sure they're going to throw us a lot of stuff because, there's only so much you can do in 7 seasons.
Sure.
And that happens in the White House. I'm sure they'll bend reality a little bit, but I just want to see more situations and more scenarios of what can happen in a presidency.
Of course. And it helps that you have a great writer working with a
Yeah.
great cast.
That Aaron Sorkin, man.
I'm telling you.
Young and up and coming Aaron Sorkin.
Yeah, I expect good things from that kid in the future.
I've made that joke before.
All right, we're going to welcome some new Patreon subscribers, guys. So Jake L, Rai Chen, and May Hibbard. Thanks so much, guys, and welcome. We sincerely appreciate you being here.
We really do. And for those of you guys checking us out on YouTube, welcome to our channel.
Hello.
If you guys like this show, give us a like on the like button down there. Leave us a comment down below and tell us your favorite episode thus far. We do that on Patreon, and a lot of folks over there are very vocal. So if you want to see the full-length reaction and throw your hat in the ring, click that link down below to our Patreon. You can watch the full-length reaction over there.
Yeah, along with all the other shows we're watching, including Succession as a Patreon exclusive, and other hour-long dramas that are right up there with The West Wing, like Mad Men.
Yeah.
Which is a show I'm
I
really
would say,
enjoying
yeah,
as well.
if you guys do like The West Wing and you want to watch more like this, Mad Men's the way to go.
Absolutely.
Succession's also a nice companion piece.
State of the Union is a huge deal, and then there's a response from the opposition party afterwards.
Is that a yes?
Yeah, have we?
I don't think
Is it
so.
a yes?
Bob Novak just said this was the speech of my political life. You know how many times I've heard that?
Yeah.
Senator McGowan says we're fine if we cut vigorously.
I like how we kind of get dropped into the middle of these debates, too,
I
you
love
know?
that. That's
Yeah.
one of my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's a good idea to be chewing gum when you're taking a poll for the president. of the
Easy,
United
Josh.
States. That's the sound people like to hear on the phone.
The polling hasn't started yet.
Do any of you people have accents?
Oh my God.
Do any of you people have the power of speech?
Josh, easy, Josh.
It'd be funny if one guy's like, I do.
The president will be announcing a bipartisan blue ribbon commission to study the long-term future of entitlement programs.
Under 3 minutes left of handing off the last version of the speech.
It stresses me out.
Yeah.
Something's gonna happen. I don't know.
I know, it feels really tense, doesn't it? I mean, these are high-pressure speeches, for sure.
Maybe that's how it feels in real life.
Right.
You know? I mean, I would be quite stressed out about
You
that.
talked to Joey?
Yeah?
What'd she say?
She said her plane was late.
What did she say I should tell the callers?
She didn't say anything.
Donna?
Tell him to start, Josh.
Joshua Lyman, you have the cutest little butt in professional politics.
Really, that better have been her talking. There was nothing you could do about it?
No, because as a child, I never paid attention during airplane mechanics class. Is anyone chewing gum?
Stoked.
Our show is live from the
Hey,
White
Ted
House.
McGinley's
We're
back.
joined
Yeah.
all night long by Republicans and Democrats.
The president is a gifted public speaker. We've always known that, and it's an admirable talent. Not unlike juggling. Now, if only he had said something.
I see you over there.
Can we do it here?
Why?
I'm not wearing any pants. Can we do it here?
Sure, we're fine here as long as there aren't any microphones or cameras around.
Carol!
Bathrobes.
The gym.
They're bathrobes at the gym.
In the women's locker room.
1,000 men working here and 50 women.
Yeah, and it's the bathrobes that's outrageous.
That's really good. Yeah.
Man in this gym.
I need 10 seconds. I need to see the police officer. What was his name?
Sloan.
Right.
Charlie, is it possible that CJ isn't wearing any pants right now?
She's satin wet paint.
I think it's funny that she
And
can
she's
tell.
not wearing any pants? The check was written by the First Lady to a woman the President has never heard of, and he'd like you to ask her about it.
And why doesn't he just ask the First Lady about the $500 check himself?
It's another fighting
in the
thing.
normal course of, being married to her.
Oh, she's mad already.
Will demand boldly setting aside our partisan blinders and abandoning our ideological entrenchment.
Whatever she's mad about, I didn't catch it.
Yeah.
She's getting something I'm not.
A $500 check that hasn't been cashed. It's written to a woman who doesn't.
Oh, how long has that been up his ass?
Yeah.
Husband threw her out.
He set fire to the bed.
And she bought the kids Christmas presents early and they were ruined.
So I sent her $500.
Well, she hasn't cashed it. I'll make sure it got to her.
Thank you.
Thank you.
There's a fight coming for sure.
Big time.
Yeah.
National Commission.
There's something he said there that really got her.
Is it the abandoned ideological entrenchment? Is that what it is?
I have no idea.
Is this police officer? The president pointed to him and asked him to stand.
Leo, let CJ talk to him.
Is he here?
Yeah.
No.
Leo, we believe 5 U.S. DEA agents have been abducted in Colombia.
Where?
Oh, wow.
On a road between Bogota and a training base.
They're gonna shoot these guys.
Leo,
The
I
White
feel...
House press corps is upstairs, and there's a live TV show being broadcast next door. He made a bust. He broke the guy's leg. The DA couldn't make the case. The civil suit was dismissed, but it's there.
He was the off-duty cop who...
At the elementary school?
Yeah.
He wasn't vetted?
It was last minute. When do I see numbers?
Joey says it's going good.
Great.
You should ask Joey out. Tonight could be the night.
The night to do what?
Ask Joey
Ask her out.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
But Leo McGarry was wondering if you'd come say hello to an old friend of his.
Certainly. Would you excuse me, please?
Sit room.
Oh, a little subterfuge getting the guy. Yeah.
How many people are going to be guarding wherever these guys are being taken to?
500, 600.
Not the numbers you're hoping for if you're contemplating a massive attack and rescue mission.
Full uniforms from a liberal Democrat. What was the sound we just heard? Joining us now on our panel is Associate White House Counsel Ainsley Hayes.
And that I'm not 100% sure what the president suggests.
I'm anti-uniform too, but it's just me.
I can see the point a little bit. Kids with no money getting judged for what they wear. I can see the
Okay,
yeah.
I can see that side.
I'm not saying they should have uniforms, but that is a good
I get
reason
that.
to.
I get
right?
that.
Yeah.
That way everybody's the same.
Right. Exactly.
Well, he included it in a State of the Union address.
But from your conversations with him personally.
Oh, I haven't had any conversations with him personally.
And yet they have you out here speaking for the White House.
Yeah. It's a really big night for me.
Gretchen Tyler.
He works in the Oval Office and I work in the steam pipe trunk distribution venue. I can't believe
Yeah.
we haven't run into each other.
You can meet him tonight.
No. And you think I'm going to have a nutty?
I'm saying don't drink to off television.
Say I shouldn't be drunk when I'm representing.
Please don't forget you're a blonde Republican girl and that nobody likes you.
And I don't need to be told who the architect of tonight's speech was.
Oof. Good, so she knows he's part of the problem on this.
Where are the first numbers? Soon. How soon?
5 minutes.
God.
Response rate slowed down, and you need to have some juice and crackers.
America is talking.
Oh no.
Oh no.
No.
It might take a little longer.
May take a little longer.
It says a well-regulated militia being necessary for the
it does say
security of
that.
the free state, the government shall not infringe. The words regulated and militia are in the first sentence.
First fiscal priority of the government will be ensuring Social Security and Medicare.
Look,
Raising
Screwing
retirement
over,
age.
yep,
And
it's
that is
screwing
where
over
uniforms get in
seniors.
such
Yep.
prominent spot.
I was in a section on education reform. Abby?
I was just thrown by the last-minute changes. You should get back on TV.
It was an armed robbery in progress. I was pursuing Walter Tappas on foot. I didn't fracture his leg.
He said you kicked him repeatedly while he was handcuffed.
He was suing the city for $5 million, and he won 2 bronze medals at the state high school track and field championships. Look at me. Do you think there is any way I catch up to this guy if his leg isn't fractured already? I assumed, that it was okay now, that I was okay.
This poor
I
freaking
didn't think it
guy.
was going to all come up again.
The president pointed to you as an example.
I am an example.
Oh, man.
Because you're giving it to him.
Because they'll find it anyway.
My wife and kids are back at the party.
You should go back there.
Yeah.
Don't talk to anybody about this.
You thought that they would vet his background a little bit, yeah.
Right.
I mean, that's a little bit on them, a little bit.
No, it's totally on them. They didn't vet him enough, but
Poor guy.
yeah.
How disappointed he looked.
Yeah.
Josh, everybody else is having fun with this.
You're the only one who's having fun with this. Nobody else is having fun with this.
How you doing?
Ainsley Hayes has been working here for 3 months, and she's still a little frightened of meeting you. If you should happen to run into her in the halls, maybe you could make a point of introducing yourself. A lot of people assumed you were hired because you were a blonde Republican sex kitten. They were obviously wrong. And keep up the good work.
Oh, yeah.
We have a situation in Colombia.
Holy moly.
Yeah, everyone's there for a briefing.
And they kill our guys unless Santos releases Juan Aguilar from a prison in Bogota.
Which the Colombian government isn't going to do. Mr.
really?
President, I want to strongly urge that we continue negotiating.
You think we're headed for Vietnam?
I think if we make an armed attack, the Frente will hit back.
How possible is it for us to just open up one of these computers with a screwdriver and get the numbers that are in there, right?
Oh my God. Like a
Why did you
Zoolander.
think that'd be a silly question?
Get rid of that bench.
That was a good.
Why are you moving like that?
I'm planning on the bus stop.
Oh, no.
I wanted to say hello and to mention, a lot of people assumed you were hired because you were a blonde Republican sex kitten, and they're obviously wrong. Good work.
Yes, sir.
You know we're meeting?
Yes, sir.
Oh my God.
And before the stampede begins, please give me a chance.
CJ?
Let me talk to you before...
CJ?
Give me 20 minutes before you break the story.
What?
We've done things together.
I'm looking at my watch.
You're mad at me.
Jed, you know what? I'm not your mommy.
Abby, so I indicated we were open to new ideas.
At what point in the process did you decide not to mention the Violence Against Women Act?
Oh.
Things had to be cut. Make a 90-minute speech into an 80-minute speech. Things had to go.
It's a good thing it didn't have to be any shorter, or school uniforms might not have made the cut.
Abby.
Yeah.
Abby,
When did you decide you were going to run for a second term?
that's not what
That's
tonight's...
all that tonight's speech was
Oh.
about.
There it is.
Is he not going to run again?
I don't think he was
You
planning
kicked
on
off
it.
your re-election campaign, and I'm sitting here eating a sandwich because we had a deal.
That was 3 years ago.
No. You got to focus right now.
All right.
He'll make it right. He always does.
What a great marriage they have, right?
I know.
They can fight. They can compartmentalize what they're fighting about and when they shouldn't fight.
She sees the bigger picture.
Yeah.
She's not a petty.
She's definitely upset, but
She makes it clear.
right.
She's not his mommy,
is-
but
she-
in many ways she's his mom.
She is a very strong person for
I
sure.
love
yeah.
her. She's the best.
We're talking about the State of the Union, and it appears that it's a blockbuster.
Oh no!
Oh man.
Gosh!
So we're cliffhanging.
Dang it! I didn't even realize how much time passed by.
I haven't
Dang it.
either.
Just
I thought
when-
we were at least going to get the meeting.
Oh, man, we were getting into that too.
Yeah.
Dang it. All right.
Well, I'm assuming that we will pick right up with
Yeah.
this next week,
Like
post
you
State of
guys-
the Union. Yeah.
Just like you guys told us.
Right.
Lots to
Wow.
unpack, man. I mean, lots to
Yeah.
unpack there. Earlier I said kind of agree with the whole war on drugs situation. For the most part, I think it's kind of a blunder.
Oh, everyone, yeah. There's,
you know,
no matter what side politically you come down on the war on drugs, there's no way to say that for 50 plus years it hasn't been a mess.
And I do think that those guys are prisoners, though.
Sure.
Ostensibly, it is a war.
Right.
It's war on drugs. You know, they're down there, and you know, obviously, these people are bad guys, and they need to go.
Yeah, I don't know. You know, they're in Colombia. I don't know how much that happens. Like, maybe I
today,
as far as like United States DEA agents spending a whole lot of time outside these states. I mean, I know they do. Like, it was DEA agents who took down helped take down Pablo Escobar from Colombia. So I mean, I know they do, but
I don't want to sound ignorant. I wonder if that's more south of the border now. It's more Mexico region.
Well, because we do a lot with the importing at the border,
Yes.
right?
Yeah,
It's possible. I don't know how much we go to the source of any more of the drugs versus the importing of them.
Yeah, but as far as being in the heart of it, yeah, it's like the 80s.
Yeah. I mean, really, yeah.
But they're right. Those guys are prisoners, and you know those are bad men.
Right.
That's not a happy region where there's no law there.
There's a lot. Yeah,
it's lawless.
There's a lot that's going to happen there for sure. Militarily, it kind of looks like it's going to be a military escalation of some kind.
If it's a West Wing ending, then there's a chance it doesn't end happy.
You're right. Yeah, of course.
But no, five lives. We need to get them back. You know, and those are monsters that are holding them there. Like these people, the people in that region, I feel so horrible for because that part of the world is the last place you want to be.
Yeah, there's a lot of like, you know, I read somewhere that Pablo Escobar killed over 1,000 police officers in Colombian police officers during his reign as, you know, the number one cocaine producer and exporter in the world. He just basically had a bigger army than the Colombian government did. Yeah. So what could they do?
He is the government,
right? Yeah, absolutely. So certainly had the money.
It's you can't imagine that.
Right,
that's tough. But as far as the rest of the episode goes, that poor cop.
Yeah,
if he did actually break this guy's leg, screw him.
Right.
If not, tough beat.
I mean, his point that the guy was a, you know, track athlete and a good track athlete, and he ran him down and beat him. Does seem.
I love that he's like, look at me.
Look at me.
He's like, look at me. You think I'm taking this guy down?
Right.
You know what? Today that rings a little differently too because you know we've got
a
slew of issues with our police, which. I'm not sitting here and bashing the police at all because Lord knows we do need them. But at the same time, there's problems there.
Sure.
It's a big problem.
There always were, but, you know, social media and cell phones have really brought a lot of it to light that wouldn't have been 50 years ago.
Exactly.
Right.
Well 50 years ago, we had the pictures of the riots.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it was a thing that was happening but wasn't talked about a lot because there wasn't the kind of video evidence we have now. Like the Rodney King video in the 90s was somebody with a camcorder, you know, and that really caught a lot of people's attention because it wasn't something you'd seen before. Well, now with cell phones, we're catching it a lot more often with body cams and stuff. Yeah.
And it's funny because it's not funny, but it's something that everybody knew, but it wasn't really everybody knew it, but nobody really talked about it. But now it's out there.
Right. Well, it's a lot different when you actually see the pictures. You know, it's a lot more horrifying when you see the pictures.
And we're not sitting here saying that's every police officer, as evident by this guy. And
but it's a systemic issue for sure.
It's interesting to hear the other side of something. You know?
Right.
Automatically, everybody assumes every police officer is a fascist and
well,
horrible
at
person,
least this
you know?
guy.
Yeah, you know, and to have somebody taking advantage of that perspective is messed up, you know? And I mean, he sued the city for $5 million because I got a bum leg, I got arrested. Let's make lemonade out of lemons. But it's horrible that his kids and his wife are there.
Yeah, that does
see
suck.
their father painted in that picture. That does suck, especially on city.
But you're right though. This really does hit differently now than it probably did when it aired. You know, like the George Floyd video.
Ugh.
I couldn't get through it.
No,
I watched about 30 seconds of it, and I was like, can't do it. This is impossible to watch. This is horrifying.
During COVID, especially when I don't know if you can see that on YouTube. Actually, during the pandemic, it's hard not to sit there and want to do something when you know this is happening in the country. You know, every day to innocent people. So it's tough.
Interesting how the show really catches a lot of issues when they weren't mainstream issues at the time the show was on, but as times progressed, they become certainly much more mainstream issues. You know, like back then, it was like these were like, hey, you know, Sorkin writing, these are things that are happening, and it's like, you know, there's an awareness on a lot of it, and flash forward to 2023, and it's like, oh my God, yeah, this is a huge issue.
That's what's amazing about this show is that these issues they're discussing now are more prevalent than ever. And it kind of shows that, like, everything repeats itself. Everything escalates or de-escalates. There's some things that they address here that are a lot better now, but these issues are issues for a reason, and they need to be addressed.
We didn't even get into guns, and we'll go ahead and leave that one.
We'll save that for part 2.
We'll save that for the next time a gun thing comes up on the show, which it absolutely will. Talk to you next time, guys.
See ya.